Sure. No worries.
Alrighty, we're live. Welcome everybody to the CyberSec Show. My name is DC, and today I'm talking with MrCatalyst here. MrCatalyst, how you going, man?
Hey, it's a pleasure for me to be on your show now.
Yeah, man. Yeah, it's we had this one organized for a little while now, so it's good to I guess see and have the conversation and yeah, get this one done. So tell us a little bit about yourself, man. What do you do and how do you do it and all those good questions.
Okay, so basically, I graduated. I did my bachelor's degree in computer science in 2017. After that, I started a job at an MNC working as a C# developer. From there, I think we had a lot of legacy applications where there were a lot of static analysis, like the SAST scans were done, and there were a lot of vulnerabilities that popped up into all those legacy applications. So what I did was I took all of them on me, and I fixed all of those vulnerabilities. From there, it piqued some interest in security. From there, I started moving towards security, and then I started doing my own learning. I started doing some CTFs, learned on myself, did some API pen testing, then joined some institute, learned some courses, all the basic stuff which I think if you Google your channel and find how to start in bug bounties or how to get started in InfoSec, all those stuff which you have mentioned in your YouTube videos, I did all of that. Then interviewed for couple of companies. Then I got this post. So currently I'm working as a cybersecurity analyst, and so my day-to-day profile work is doing the Appsec in Appsec, doing the SAST and DAST pen testing and pen testing of the applications, in-house built applications.
Nice. Okay, so you kind of fell into, I guess, Appsec as a thing kind of accidentally by originally doing programming, you said, and then just finding vulnerabilities and telling them about it and then fixing them, that's pretty interesting. That's I mean, it's not the typical, well, maybe it is a typical way to get into Appsec work, but yeah, I mean, it's different to how most people do it, which is kind of fun. So whereabouts are you working? Like, not the company name, but more the geographical region.
So geographically, I'm from India, and from India, I think I'm from the eastern part. I currently work in Maharashtra, Mumbai. I think you might have heard of the name Mumbai.
Yep.
So there's a city close by to Mumbai. It's Pune. So I work from that location.
Okay, cool. And do you see, is there like a lot of jobs in Appsec or cybersecurity there at the moment, or what's the market like? I'm just genuinely curious.
Yeah, I think the market is currently, we have a lot of opportunities. I think I have interviewed more than 30 people for my own firm in which I'm working right now. So there's, I think, a huge gap.
Oh. I think we're lagging out slightly.
Requirement which we have, like we need. Okay, let me get my connection. I must say, internet connection.
I think it's good now. I think it's caught up. The internet caught up.
I think it's a challenge in India, to get a high-speed internet.
I totally relate with that, dude. It's just as bad over here. I think the Australian internet connection is average at best.
I think Indian people or Indian folks would relate to this, because this is our day-to-day challenge. So apart from learning stuff and getting new challenges, this is an added challenge to get a high-speed internet.
Yeah. And that's
relatable. This is not just for me, and this is not just for me. It's for all across India.
Man, that sucks. Is it just like bad lines, or is it just like that's just how it is?
So I think we have not yet grown fully, or in the sense of infrastructure to support this kind of a shift.
Yeah.
Which the developed countries has, but we are currently seeing a shift, but I don't know when it will catch up.
Yeah, we have this thing in Australia called the NBN, and it was meant to be this like super fast, amazing network. Originally, that was the idea anyway. But it is,
Mm-hmm.
it's so bad. Like it's really average. It drops. My internet connection drops out all the time, and it's it's just a bad connection, man. So, but I mean, we do get promised decent speeds. I wouldn't say they're good. I like my connection here at home is 100 down and 40 up, but I average get like maybe 60 down when it's working well, and at best 20 up, if that. And it's just so sketchy. Like it's slow as hell. But anyway, that's all right. So you're telling me about like
So
cybersecurity.
you think that is sketchy? I think
Oh no,
you
I
should
mean like the connection itself. So the speeds are okay, but the connection is terrible. Like, it's really bad. So yeah, you were saying about these cybersecurity jobs in Mumbai. You're saying you were you've sort of, I guess, interviewed 20 or so people recently for what position were they interviewing for?
Appsec only. So SAST and DAST roles. Basic, they should be knowing how to help developers fixing the vulnerability that are found by the SAST or the DAST tools, or means they could get the false positives eliminated from the results. Basic stuff.
Right. Okay. Well, that's pretty cool. I've got a question here in the chat from Raul, who says, "Do you feel the salary gap?"
Okay.
I don't know what he means by that, but
yeah,
maybe you could shed some light.
Yeah, I get it. So, salary gap is there in the sense if you are a fresher just joining in. So there's a huge gap. I cannot say just a gap. It's a huge gap. Where if you are a starter, if
It's a
you're a fresher,
Grand
you have
Canyon
one.
of gaps. Okay.
Yes. So if you have 1 or 2 years of experience, you'll see it. But it covers up. When you get 4 to 5 years of experience or more than that, it covers up. So don't worry about the gap.
Gee, 4 to 5 years though.
So I myself have 5 years of experience.
Nice. Okay, so that's good. So after like 4 to 5 years, then you catch up to the gap and you start earning, I guess, good money, and it's good from then on.
Good money? I don't.
Well, I don't know. You tell me, man. You're the one working here.
Uh, yeah, you can say average. Average salary.
Average. Okay. I won't prod too much into the money you're making because I don't want to be rude. Yeah. Okay. So I guess when like did you finish high school and then go to university with the idea of getting into cybersecurity, or were you looking more to get into programming and development type work?
Okay, so if I tell you the typical Indian engineering student, it happens like you take the job whichever is available to you. Then you decide which career you want to get into. So there was no aspiration that I want to get into cybersecurity only, because whatever job is available, I'll take it. I'll pay my bills from that job. It's not like that I'll only take the job that is from cybersecurity only. So I'll take whatever job was available. If it was for automation engineer or a DevOps guy, whatever job was available, I will take that, and then we'll decide where I want to go, if I like the job or not. So that happened with me as well. So I took the job as a C# developer, and from there I trickled it down to cybersecurity.
Right. Okay. So it's essentially more of like you're just trying to get the job to make money initially, and then sort your problems out from there. And then once you get the job closer to what you maybe want, then you have to deal with a salary gap for 45 years. And okay, so it's a pretty grinding effort by the sounds of it to get through to where you are now. So I have to say congratulations, dude. You've got into you've gotten there. You've done it. Well done. That's awesome. It's good to hear.
My achievement is also getting streamed in your channel. So this is also an achievement for me.
Really? Okay. Who's your teammate? I'm curious.
So my team, also currently I work in vulnerability management, and I have a teammate from Mumbai, but we
Yep.
have not yet met because we all joined in COVID. So
Yep.
hopefully we'll be meeting him soon. His name is Ishak. He also has a pretty good experience in cybersecurity.
Okay. Cool. Sweet. That sounds good. All right. So when you were learning, like upcoming learning up until now, I guess, what was your favorite piece of learning material that you came across? One that stood out and you were like, this is awesome. This is such a great piece of educational material. I'd love to share it, or it just really stood out as something that you thought was like really cool.
So when I was starting, I basically went into CTS, but when I was basically starting, means from the scratch, from the bottom. When I
Yep.
was starting, it was HackerOne CTF. Okay, but that was kind of difficult for me. I will not lie. That was difficult for me at the time when I was starting. So then I pivoted to Portswigger's Academy, and that is just awesome. They give you the answer right then and there. If you're stuck for 2-3 days, you can just take a peek and
Okay.
solve, and learn learn on the reverse order.
Yeah. That's cool, man. Yeah, I've heard a lot of good things. I did it ages ago now, the Portswigger stuff. I think it's changed a bit since I last looked at it. But I mean, a lot of people do say the same thing, that the Portswigger labs or CTF thing is quite good. So yeah, if anyone out there is keen to learn some stuff on Portswigger and Burp Suite, all that good stuff, yeah, definitely jump on the Portswigger labs. So in I guess going back to your geographical area, because it's rare for me to be able to talk to someone in your geographical area with your sort of experience. So I'm going to keep
Wi-Fi,
asking questions.
due to Wi-Fi issues, or
Wi-Fi and time zones and all sorts of different things that come into play. I think it's mostly a lot of people don't want to put their camera on for whatever reason, which is up to them. But I mean, I have to have a camera on for these live streams, otherwise it's just me talking to the screen. So yeah, there's a lot of
and
different things there, but
and you can I think understand the reason why I also would want to switch on my camera, because I'm seeing my live stream right now, and there's a huge lag. But my hand is moving, I think 3 or 4 seconds before, and I can see that in live stream it's moving after 3-4 seconds.
yeah, man. Yeah,
So
and it's at the fastest latency thing as well. So it promises around 5 to 7 seconds of lag, that's pretty quick for a live stream. It's not too bad. But anyway, yeah. So in your area, there in Mumbai, we'll say, what sort of areas of growth in cybersecurity or IT as a whole, so even like programming, software development, whatever, what have you seen the most growth with in jobs, especially for entry level?
So entry level, SOC by default.
So
Means SOC is the most means entry level jobs. SOC has the most number of jobs available, and if you could just dive into a course, 3 months or 4 months course from some nearby institute, and you can just directly get a job in security operations center.
okay, cool. And there's lots of those going at the moment. Like it's easier to get into a SOC.
Yeah, yep. And the best part is, if you don't want to be a SOC analyst, you can just pivot it from there after you get into a SOC, just like I did, right? And I was a C# programmer, and after 1 or 2 years, you can just pivot it to whatever stream you like.
Yeah, right. Okay, that's kind of cool. And if like what sort of experience is required for those SOC jobs?
I think from 0 to 2 is perfect. No experience, just theoretical, just learn stuff,
Okay.
know few tools, how to monitor,
Yeah.
and get alerts, and how to, means the same thing, means like getting to understand what false positives are. Like, you cannot raise the alarm on seeing a false positive, right?
Right. Okay. So I mean that's pretty standard across SOCs. to be honest. If you start rising false positives, they start getting upset. But yeah, so you don't need like a degree or anything like that. You could just go in with some experience or something, or
bachelor's degree is mandatory in India in whichever stream you go.
I
Bachelor's
thought
degree,
so.
bachelor's degree is, I think, de facto in India. Whatever you do, you need a bachelor's degree at most for everything you need.
Okay, so for every job you need a bachelor's.
Yes.
Wow.
Correct.
Okay. That's I mean, yeah, that's interesting, because over here not so much. You could get in off word of mouth or experience in other jobs that are close enough or something like that. So it's, yeah, I mean, it's interesting to see the difference between countries. Oh, someone's tipped me. What's this? $4.49 from Angelina for my wife just tipped me $4.50. Thank you very much for the cute Shiba Inu. Cheers, Ange. That's awesome. It's been a minute since I had a tip in this channel, which is crazy. I've got a question here from Abhijit George. I think I've said your name wrong. I'm terribly sorry.
It's Abhijit George.
Abhijit George. Okay. I apologize for butchering your name. The question is, on an average month, how many dull/unengaging days do you have where you can't wait to be done with work? I can answer this question first, and then I'll let you go. I would say in a month, I'd say there's at least one day a week where I'm just like, this is boring. And I found that that's something that happens more recently, because I've been working in IT now for, I was counting it today, 17 years. I've been in IT. Whoa. It's ridiculous. So I've come across a lot of different areas of IT as well. So I've done, the network engineering thing and network security and sysadmin and all sorts of different SOC work and pen testing and stuff. And it's now that I've sort of seen a little bit of everything and not really mastered anything, I would say. I would say some days you're just like, I've seen this before. I'm bored. This is dull and boring. So yeah, I mean, when I first started, it wasn't so boring like that. And cybersecurity is a good thing though, and IT as a whole really, where it does change a lot. But yeah, I mean, like anything, once you stay in there long enough, you see the same things over. What do you reckon? What's your month like? How many days in a month do you find are just a bit like, what am I doing?
So to be honest, I think 2 days a week just goes on following up on mails. You shoot a mail to the app dev team, wait for a reply. They don't reply. You
meetings on meetings on meetings.
Meetings are mandatory. Meetings are, I think, I don't consider them dull now because it's mandatory. It's mandatory now. So you cannot. So no need to means there's no point in cribbing about meetings now.
Yeah.
So it's so so unrealistic now. So we have so many meetings that I've stopped cribbing about it. I think from this pre-corona, I stopped cribbing about meetings.
Yeah, fair enough. Yeah, I think it's a bit like that, where it's just with meetings. I remember when I was working as a SOC team lead in this government agency, and I wasn't employed by them directly. I was actually subcontracting as like a specialist, and then they said, "Oh, can you do the SOC team lead job for 3 to 6 months?" And I was like, "Sure, why not?" So anyway, the job was like, I was in meetings from like 8 a.m. until around 2 p.m. every day, 5 days a week. I was like, this is so bad. So it'd start off with like a team huddle thing where I had to talk to the team. And then there was a meeting with the CISO to talk about the different risks. And then me and the CISO would go to a risk and compliance meeting. And it was like constant. And then at the end of the week, there was one meeting with external auditors to talk about risk. So it's just like, I was like, how much can I talk about risk? Like, I've told you every single day for this week, how much risk there is. They don't do anything about it. That's the most frustrating thing. So it's like a loop, a constant loop. And you're like, oh, fuck's sake. Come on, guys. So it's, yeah, that's an interesting one. Raul says that's basically what he's going to do, which is to apply for a job in a SOC, and then and hopefully get in that way. I don't know if Raul is in the same area as you, but maybe you should you two should have a chat and see if there's some roles going and you know, help each other out. I mean, that could be a possibility.
Someone said love from Ranchi. That's where I am currently.
You're in Ranchi?
Yeah, that is my hometown.
Oh, right.
I'm in Ranchi.
Damn, okay. This guy's like, he's right next door. He might be across the street.
Seriously. I think he can come up for drinks now after this live stream.
Damn, can I come as well? That sounds good. Happy Holi, right? Let's enjoy ourselves.
Oh, happy Holi, yes. Happy Holi.
Yeah. So we got a question here from Rymac. He says, this is a question for you. As a fresher, what kind of job is there in a SOC?
So, as I mentioned, you need to learn few tools. Like you need to have understanding of how to look different kind of views, on how to arrange what alerts comes up first and last. So basically, it's like monitoring job. You don't have to do more, but you'll have to watch more. You know, means understand what alerts are coming from where. So you need to learn different IP addresses, different machines from your own organization only. Means which machine is pinging which server, which process is using more. I think, you know, CPU utilization, that kind of stuff.
Okay. That's pretty cool. So there's actually a fair bit of networking and potentially infrastructure stuff in there as well.
Yep.
Nice. That's good. That means I've been telling people the right thing for a long time. So that's good. I think there's another question. Oh no, from Raul. He says, monitor, detect, prevent, and then investigate, report to senior. Probably. I mean, that's usually how most SOC analysts level ones work. Yeah, Raul, you need to hit up MrCatalyst after this stream. Hit him up and have a chat.
For sure.
If you had to give one piece of advice to people trying to get into the industry, what would that one piece of advice be, or more than one piece of advice? Go nuts.
Go nuts? Are you sure?
Yeah.
I can.
Not, you know.
Okay.
Come on.
First piece of advice: whoever is just starting into the industry, don't ever dare to go into bug bounties. No bug bounties for freshers. You know.
Yeah.
That's the first thing.
What's the reason for that? Is it because it takes too long and it's time consuming and you don't learn enough in the time you could be spending on doing something else, or?
For I think for me the reason would be it demotivates you way more than it motivates you.
Yeah.
Bug bounties, you know.
It
would be better if it would be better if you go to CTFs and do some CTFs, make a team, go on some contest on CTFs, but don't go for bug bounties straight away.
Okay, good advice. I agree with that.
I myself tried for I think 2 or 3 years straight when I was just starting into information security. Then I thought it's not that easy. But whenever you see Twitter, right, you follow big people, and you'll know that they're earning bounties in dollars. You know, $1,000, $10K, $20K.
That's the draw card with bug bounties. I mean, I made a video a little while ago, just at the start of this year, which was like, it was a bit of a joke. When I first started making, I was like, this is so stupid. And the video title was "Make $1 million with bug bounties." Right? It was like a hit. It had so many views. I was like, this is bad. And I mean, a lot of people talk shit about the video, which was fine because it was a video that was meant as a bit of a meme. But I mean, it had some useful info in the video, but the point really was that it's really hard to make $1 million in bug bounties. And especially for someone just starting out in bug hunting,
Correct.
it's just hard. It's a competitive market. It's highly
It's
time
really.
consuming. It's hard to
Mhm,
learn from scratch, like how to do anything really.
mhm,
So it's yeah, I agree with you. I think doing CTFs on Try Hack Me or Hack the Box or whatever, and
mhm.
learning that way is a better way to learn those sort of techniques. I
Yep.
have a question here from Bending Rodriguez. And the question is there an industry standard platform slash program slash tool we'd be wise to get familiar with before dipping into SOC analyst roles?
So
Yeah, I
let me
think as
let
far as
me.
an industry tool goes, definitely Splunk. Absolutely Splunk. I don't. What do you recommend?
So I just wanted to clarify, I am not in working in SOC, so I'm getting a lot of questions on SOC and I don't know the answer. Please forgive me. Ask something AppSec. Application security, I will be happy to answer. But SOC is, I think, the basic stuff I know, which I just mentioned. I'm not a SOC analyst, sorry.
Yeah,
But yeah,
I can
Splunk.
speak that. Yeah, from working in a,
Mm-hmm,
a SOC as a team lead years ago,
mm-hmm,
Splunk is like the number one tool across pretty much every government organization in Australia, anyway, and most of the larger service providers who focus on security or virtualizing SOCs. If you want to learn the cheap way, though, and the more fun way, is to build your own Elastic server and put the EDR solution on there and build your own virtual SOC. That's one way to get around it, and it won't cost you anything except resources on a cloud server, or if you use an in-house server, I mean nothing, just electricity. So yeah, there is that. Bender Bending Rodriguez, no Futurama fans. I got the reference, but I wasn't sure because I saw the Rodriguez bit at the end, and I was like, okay, that's
mm-hmm,
interesting.
mm-hmm.
Raul says, I think first priority should be making yourself financially stable and getting a job, which is exactly what you did. And then in
Mm-hmm.
free time, pursue your passion.
Correct.
Yeah, I agree with that. I mean, to be honest, when I first got into IT, I had three. Did I? How many? I had three jobs at the same time,
Mm-hmm.
so I needed to make some money, basically.
Yep.
And I had my job in the morning. I was working as a network engineer, which was a fancy way of saying a help desk guy at a high school. They gave me this crazy title, but I was literally just a help desk. It was computers at their house, and then at night time I'd work in a bar, and watching people lose their money on poker machines. So is yeah, I mean I respect the hustle, to be honest, and I wouldn't recommend that to anyone working three jobs and studying at the same time. It's a terrible choice, and you'll burn out super fast. But it was, I mean, it was kind of fun. And I enjoyed working in the bar probably the most out of those three jobs. But yeah, I mean, I had to make money and then follow my passion later, which I mean, my passion changes every 6 months, maybe less. So it's it's hard to say what my passion is anymore. To be honest, I've
But
got too
you,
many hobbies.
I can speak for you. I think YouTube has been your the most constant, you know.
It's probably the longest running hobby I've
Yeah,
ever had. Yeah.
because I have been following you, I think, for more than 2 years now.
Yeah, I think I've only had this like 3 years, so that's pretty much
Hmm.
from the beginning. Because right at the
Yes.
start, I didn't really make any videos. I was just sort of chilling out and watching
Hmm.
stuff and doing my own thing. But yeah, um, yeah. I mean, yeah, I haven't really done this too long, but yeah, 3 years is a pretty long time for any hobby to continuously do. So yeah.
Hmm.
So what's a typical day like for you? So when you get up, you go to work at I don't know what time, and then work and finish at whatever time. What's
Okay.
a like? What's the hours like, and what's the typical daily work like?
Okay. So I currently work in US time. That is, have some overlap for India and US both.
Yeah,
Okay. So that is from 2 p.m. Indian Standard Time to 11 p.m. Indian Standard Time. You know, so that's covering both in India time zone at this evening and night, the morning time for US. So
right.
typical day goes like checking the mails, obviously.
Yeah,
Uh, then then getting into the list of applications that were scanned that have some issues. So we introduced a project or idea called shift left. I don't know if you've heard about it.
Yep.
So yeah, so shift left is basically moving your security assessment more to the left side, means at the development phase of the application rather than pre-production or post-production. You know,
Yep.
so we are currently consumed in that shift left. So for shift left, what we do is we have different tools for SAST and DAST scans both. So we have integrated the one SAST tool into the IDE itself, where the developer writes code and could do a right click and just hit a run a scan from the IDE itself, so that they'll be knowing whether there's potential vulnerabilities on or not. Then they push their code to a pipeline. I think we have Jenkins pipeline,
Yep.
and once they push it, so there will be, before the build happens, right? The code is built. There will be another scan that would happen from that SAST tool itself, and then once it's go to pre-prod and once it's go deployed into production or lower environment like staging or development environment, we'll do a dash scan as well. That will be automated too. So that's
Right.
shift left for us.
Yeah, right. So that's quite intense, actually. That's I mean, a lot
Yes,
of people
it is.
don't do a lot of testing. I think the shift left thing is quite. It's not new, but I mean it's not something a lot of places do based on resources and time. And from what I've seen anyway, so they just don't do it because they don't want to pay the money. They'll just fix the vulnerabilities once they're found eventually. So it's kind of interesting. There was a question here from Matt M. He says, what are the requirements for a penetration tester in web applications?
The requirements in the sense skill set.
Yeah, I'm not too sure. That it's an open-ended question. I think as far as like, do you mean like certifications or some skills or experience or what? Raul
Yes.
says, from an Indian job market perspective, do you recommend taking certifications from CompTIA, or is CEH for everything? I don't know about the Indian job market. So, I mean, over here, people laugh at the CEH. So I wouldn't recommend it in Australia, but...
In India as well, we security analysts do laugh at CEH, but if you see the real job JD, you see the what we call job description, right? If you see
Yep.
a lot of JDs, it is compulsory to have a CEH, and that's baffling, because CEH is just MCQ, and you just have to get the questions right, and that does not explain your worthiness, your skill set. So I don't know why they ask for CEH. And for CompTIA, I've never seen a job description that has CompTIA but not CEH. So if you go for OSCP, that would be, but OSCP again, it's tough if compared to CompTIA and CEH.
For sure, yeah. Do you see like the OSCP as a required certification for blue team roles as well?
For blue team OSCP, I don't think so.
Yeah, I only asked because I saw recently a whole bunch of jobs in Australia, and they were blue team roles, but they were asking for OSCPs, and I was like, that's interesting. I mean, why would you ask for that certification? But I didn't look into it. I didn't call the recruiter up or anything and ask him. But I thought it was really interesting that they were asking for an OSCP for these, like SOC analyst roles. I was like, that's a strange jump. Yeah, I was like, that's extreme. Like, it's the complete opposite. But I mean, maybe they're looking for all-rounders or something. Matt M came back and said, to follow up on his question about the requirements for a pen tester in web apps, he was asking what skills, code review, etc.
Okay.
Yeah, you go. Yeah.
So I think for skill set, the basic thing is you should be knowing all the different types of vulnerabilities, and just to replicate whatever. So if you're trying, you need to have a skill set of knowing the vulnerabilities is one thing, like XSS and SQL injection. You know what those vulnerabilities are, okay, and how to fix them. but knowing the tips and tricks as well, you to show them that this application is vulnerable. So that's, I think that is a live demo kind of scene. Once you know what SQL injection is and you know how to fix it, and if there's an app given to you, you can demonstrate it on that app, that this app is either vulnerable to SQL injection or it's not vulnerable to SQL injections. So it's kind of theoretical and practical both. So that skill set is required for pen testing.
Right. Okay. Yeah, that makes sense.
And on the side, it would be a star for your resume if you have good report writing skills as well.
For sure. Yeah, that's pretty common across everything. Actually,
Mm-hmm.
even bug bounties is report writing is, I mean, pretty important. We got a good question here from Rymac. Says CCNA versus Network Plus, which is better for the Indian job market?
No idea.
No idea.
Network.
Yeah, I could say in Australia the CCNA is definitely the number one certification for getting a job in network engineering.
Mm-hmm.
They'll probably look at your Network Plus and be like, oh yeah, that's cool. But the reason they want your CCNA is because they can use it in their partner program with Cisco to get better prospects for clients that Cisco recommends to them. So they always try and get as many people as they can with CCNAs so that they can build up to the platinum partner package thing. So it's yeah, it's an interesting one, really. There's another question I just skipped over here from Madam. Is it always black box testing? I assume he's talking about pen testing still.
Yeah. So I think that question I will answer in two ways. So if you are a pen tester in an in-house built applications, like you are in a company that and you're pen testing for the applications developed and built by your own company, then it's not always black box testing. But if you are in a service provider company, like who does pen testing for other companies, so other big companies are the clients of your company, then it would be a black box testing.
Yeah, I that makes more sense too. Raul has a question here as well. He says, I think in India they don't hire just for web app pen testing. They want a full package. Or is he wrong?
Correct. Totally.
That's correct.
So, yes. So for pen testing is basically what happens is whenever your application is deployed, right, and then you do the pen testing, correct? But what if what are the other times when the application is not yet deployed or not yet ready to be deployed? Then you sit idle, right? So that is why Indian job markets are a kind of searches for an all-rounder, whether you can do secure code reviews as well, help developers, means teach developers on working on or creating more I think secure code, and then DAST and pen testing. So that's the whole package that is required as of now, I can see.
Yeah. Just quickly before I go on to the next question, if you guys are getting something valuable out of this, smash the like button. Give me some love. Give me some like button love. Jay Cybersecurity, welcome, dude. Welcome back. I've seen you in here before. Says, did MrCatalyst study all this in a university or self-learning? I'm eager to know. Self-learning. You did go to university as well, though.
Yes. So
of course, yeah.
Yeah, that is mandatory in India.
Yeah.
So the thing is, in India, we don't have a specialization bachelor's degree for cybersecurity. You do a bachelor's degree in computer science and engineering. So I learned about the semiconductors, the programming languages, the data structures, each and every aspect of whole computer science. It's the whole computer, not just cybersecurity. Cybersecurity was a small part of my whole 4-year curriculum, but it was not the whole. Means I learned it from university, and I had to take classes. So there's an institute in Pune, Andy InfoSec. I took a course from him. I think Andy, he's a best friend of mine now. So I took a course from his institute. I had 6 or 7 months of training from him. Then did research internship in his institute only for a 1.5 years, and learned all those things from there only.
Okay, yeah, that's good. with your degree, did you do a subject called discrete mathematics?
Yep,
Yeah,
I
yeah,
did. I
yeah.
did.
Let me just give you
Don't
some PTSD. The most annoying. I
please
suck at
don't
maths,
ask me a
and
single question on that topic. Please, please,
I
if any
won't
question.
because I'm really bad at maths. I wouldn't know the answer myself. So
Okay.
yeah, I couldn't remember. I'm so bad that I got so close to failing so many different things, based on my lack of mathematical skill. But yeah, if anyone wanted to know, is maths a requirement? It's a requirement for university, and then once you get out of it, you can use a calculator for a lot of stuff. So that's my experience with maths anyway. Discrete mathematics, horrible. Yeah, just everything maths just makes me hurt. It hurts me from my soul. That's all the questions I had for you. I don't know if anyone else in the chat here wants to ask any questions. But if you do, feel free to throw them in the chat, and I'll ask MrCatalyst here. Getting some good insight on the Indian job market, particularly in pen testing and application security. If there's any SOC questions, just keep them general because, I mean, I can answer SOC questions, but MrCatalyst hasn't worked, isn't a SOC engineer. So
Uh-huh.
he might not be able to answer those questions for you. But it has been an interesting chat to learn about, I guess, the difference between the job markets, because most of the people I talk to or have talked to so far are in the US or Australia. And I mean, I know the Australian market very well, and the
Uh-huh.
US one is more or less the same, just bigger.
Uh-huh.
So it's, yeah, I mean, that's just kind of how it is. There's a question here from Jay Cybersecurity. He says, or she says, what languages have you mastered or are you most confident in, like in the cybersecurity field?
Yeah, okay. So languages, I initially loved C when I was in college doing my BTech. Then C++ came along. I loved that too. When I joined when I completed my 4-year degree, and then I joined a company for C Sharp developers. I was a C Sharp developer for 2 years, I guess. So I would say C Sharp, but that is enterprise level language. So I don't know if you could use it in cybersecurity or not.
Yeah. Maybe. Yeah. I don't
C
know.
Sharp is
It's,
not
yeah.
C Sharp is not a open source open source programming language, right? Like Python, you can build small tools using Python, but for C Sharp, I think you'll need for compulsory it would be Visual Studio, and that is also, I think, for community edition you'll be able to get it, and there will
Yeah.
be so many features that will be locked for you until you buy the license.
True. Yeah. Question from Joker says, what IITs are given a huge priority in India?
Mm, damn, that's a good question. So IITs
No idea.
are
This is
so,
all you.
so okay. So IIT is Indian Institute of Technology. Okay, just for your reference, it's
Okay.
Indian Institute of Technology, and those are the elite colleges in India, and their exams are too tough. And more in the sense, why the huge priority is because they have the pay scale, the job that Indian student needs, and the CTC that matches their expectation.
Right.
But also there's a difference in learning, right? For whichever college we study in, there's only theoretical knowledge. But in IIT, as I've seen some of my IIT friends, it's like more of an overall idea on how to have theoretical knowledge, then have some practical. So you have the ideas that has been taught to you in class, and you can build something from that. A workable model, or suppose a small project that is missing from other colleges in India.
Okay. Yeah, right. So it's basically filling in the gaps, but
Correct.
that's what you pay for. I assume it's more expensive.
No, IIT is cheap.
Really? Okay.
It's cheapest. That's the
Ah.
cheapest college. But
Right.
so let me just give you a context.
It shows how much
of,
I know about that. I don't know anything about this at all.
Okay, let me just give you a small context. Okay, so I also applied for IIT. There are around 20,000 seats, and around 10 lakh people applied to that. Around a million people applied,
Right.
and only 10,000 to 20,000 get seats. That's how prestigious it is.
Bloody hell. You know, the population of Australia is only 25 million people. Literally half the population of Australia applied for this thing. That's this is just blowing my mind. The numbers is crazy.
So I think that number was when I applied for. That was back in 2013. Okay.
Oh my
I don't
God.
know how many people are applying in 2022.
It might be
no
30 million or more. What's the population of India?
It's
I need to
130 million, I guess 1.3 billion people.
Oh my God. Okay. Huge is the answer. Very large. Okay, that explains why it's a tough market. Really. We got a question here from Matt M. He says, for penetration tester, full comprehensive code review is not required, I'm guessing. It's more for a Appsec engineer. I'm sorry, it's just that some job requirements are too much. I can talk about job requirements. Often they ask for something here, just in case they get it, but they still apply from here to here. So they'll still look at those applications, but if someone applies with that experience and, you know, level of certification and whatever else, then they'll probably take those people. But yeah, that's how most job applications work that I've seen anyway. And the ones that I've processed before, and I've looked at people, I said, yep, I mean, these guys are the cream of the crop. That's good. We'll get them in for an interview. And then if they suck, or if they don't have a good personality, or whatever it is, then you start going down the rest of the list. And often these guys up here, they'll say something where it's like they only want to stay in this company for a very short period of time to fill the gap while they make some money or whatever, and then they'll go somewhere else and do it, you know, because they've already got the experience. So there is that. But yeah, I don't know. What do you reckon, Mr. Catalyst?
I think the question is. I think the question is correct. I think he answered himself. Pen testing does not require a comprehensive code review skill.
Yeah.
It's just for the Appsec. So I don't know what to add more.
Yeah,
He literally answered himself.
yeah. I think it was just more getting clarification on his question. So yeah, there's no more questions in here. J Cybersecurity says 1.38 billion people in 2020. So that's a lot. A lot. But yeah, thanks for coming on, dude. It's been fun having a chat with you, and yeah, I'll be sure to talk with you again in the very near future, probably. And yeah,
I would love to.
Cheers. Thanks so much.
Thank you. Sorry for the laggy internet.
It's all right.
Yeah. I'll take care. I'll be in Pune from next time when you invite me to your live show. I think there we have pretty decent internet. So that
Cool. Okay. If anyone wants to follow Mr. Catalyst, there's a link in the description of this video to his Twitter. So if you guys want to, you know, find him there, that's where you can find him. And yeah, I'll see you guys next week. I'm talking with Gareth Claassen, who is the co-founder and my business partner of the Safer Internet Project. So if you guys want to have a chat with him and ask him questions and ask all about the Safer Internet Project, that is the time to do it, because that's what we're going to be talking about the entire stream. So I'll see you guys then. Thanks again, Mr. Catalyst, for coming on. It's been a pleasure. And I'll see everyone next time.
Thank you, DC. Bye-bye.
Catch ya. It's funny, there's still 18 people watching this, so I thought I'd come back on and say hi and quickly leave again. Catch you later, guys.